I swore I was coming in here. Last night I told Rory and Maul that this podcast I was only coming to talk about Summer Walker and the game.
Okay.
And the gang?
Interesting combo.
And the game.
Oh, the game.
The game.
The gang. Okay.
The game.
Yeah.
But since Ari Lennox has gone on this rant, I feel like that's a good place to start. So Ari Lennox.
Well, we should probably recap the awards before we get to there.
Wait,
that's
what
she's-
awards was this?
Soul Train Awards.
When was that?
Saturday, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No one knows.
I didn't know that was happening.
We've never cared about the Soul Train Awards, but all right.
So what happened? Break it down.
The Soul Train Awards happened. What was the category?
I think it was Album of the Year that she was referring to, I believe. Album or
There it
mixtape.
is. I think it's that one. Oh no, her is the winner.
This one right here, yes.
Album / mixtape of the year was the category.
I like that category though.
Lizzo was the winner with "Cause I Love You," but she was nominated. Oh, she was nominated, huh? Shea
Yeah.
Butter Baby, Ari, Indigo, Chris Brown, LMA, I Used to Know Her by Her, and Free Spirit by Khalid. And Lizzo won. And this seems to have sparked all of the outrage with Ari, who has been going on a Twitter rant since last night, yesterday, 2 days ago.
No, it started today, a few hours ago.
No, it did not. No, it did not. It started yesterday.
Oh, okay.
It started
Well, the bulk of
yesterday,
what I
and she
saw.
woke up and got back to it.
Said, you know what? And another thing.
Yeah. So we'll start with today. She says, you know what I realized? People who genuinely fuck with me understand my frustration. People who are self-hating haters and clearly have never given my music a chance got the biggest problem with me always. No one will have to worry about me complaining after this current complaint. LOL. What I will not do is ever be this depressed again. It's not just an award. It wasn't any award show. It was the Soul Train Awards. As you can see, I'm a big fan of soul music and a huge fan of Soul Train's history. Being snubbed was something I always expected and was definitely prepared for, just not by them. My intent was to never shade other nominees. I am hurt and don't expect soulless haters to understand that. Every time I wrap my mind around it, I just cannot accept it. It feels like a breakup. I made a soulful album. I never ran from who I am. I just expected that one platform to understand that. It takes a lot of energy to do these things, and ultimately this was a hard loss for me. My intent was never to annoy people, blah, 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 blah. By now you get the gist of what she's saying, but she ended this with, I quit. I'm not selling out, so I quit. She doubled down on it. She said, nah, I quit. And that is where we stand with Ari Lennox.
And do you think she quits music or quits being angry about the awards? Does she specify?
I don't. Even if she's saying she's quitting music, I don't think she's quitting music.
I agree.
But listen,
She has a great album. Let's start there.
I feel her. I'm with her.
She put out a great
I
album.
can see you getting mad at the Grammys because that's just the politics of the Grammys. And while award shows are politics in general, talk about the Soul Train Awards, and you can say what you will about Lizzo. I know everyone loves her. I wouldn't consider that a soul album.
It's not a soul album.
Not at all. It's a pop album.
Like,
Well,
at
neither
all.
would she. I think it's categorized under pop.
And,
But
and if I'm looking at all the categories, either her or Ari would be the soul album out of everyone in that category, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
The rest
Chris
are
Brown
very
is
much pop or R&B.
Yeah.
So
So we're at the Soul Train Awards.
the Soul Train Awards operate no differently than any of the other award ceremonies. And what I mean by that is this is a savvy group here with us.
Well, that's not true because look at all the nominees.
Wait,
It doesn't
hold up.
operate the same.
When these award ceremonies put the mainstream popular act into a certain category, we typically know why, or we typically know the politics.
Was Lizzo
or
there?
I don't know because I didn't watch.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think
Because
so.
that always adds to it.
I don't think so. But Lizzo is mainstream. Lizzo is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If she
pop.
was there, they might have wanted her to grace
The name Lizzo has had a hot year.
Yeah.
We could think of all the reasons that Lizzo is in this category. I don't want us to get sidetracked from normalcy because Ari is a young black new artist. This is normal still. When you say that Lizzo is not a soul act and she's in this category, I don't see it yet, so I'm following you.
Okay.
No, I understand
I'll-
Ari's beef for sure though.
Well, I want us to cover every angle of this. So I want us to identify with Ari's beef because I do believe she has a few.
Absolutely.
I also want to play devil's advocate because I stand on the other side of that as well. I tell Maul all the time that these new acts and their sense of entitlement, and regardless of what she says, that is how it comes off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have what?
Entitlement of saying I'm hurt that I made a soul album and lost at a soul award show to something that's not soul.
That's not what she's saying.
That's how I read it. Where's the
that's
entitlement?
Because the rant speaks to not being acknowledged. Being
hurt is not entitlement.
I'm not talking about the hurt part. I will never argue someone's feelings. I'm not talking about how you feel. I'm talking about the argument that you're making that comes from how you feel. You made it seem as if you were not acknowledged by the only platform that exists to acknowledge some soul. And that's not true. You were nominated and you lost as a new act. That
Lizzo's a new act too though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And
yeah.
she's a plant new act. If no one else will say it, because
I
I know it's
understand.
not cool to say bad things about Lizzo, but
I understand Ari's beef, but my thing is, even if you did make a soulful album, that doesn't mean that it was the best album in the category.
Yeah, and I want to address that.
Well, that's subjective. But I just keep
Which
going
is
back
where
to
the entitlement comes from, Rory. Because
I don't see
it's
anything entitled to what she's saying. I'm saying I'm hurt that I made this album and I feel like I got snubbed. That's not entitlement.
She could feel like
Any
she got
artist
snubbed.
could feel that they got snubbed, even if
has
their
a
shit
right-
was trash.
She has a right for that. She has a right to that.
That's not
She has a right-
entitlement.
She has a right to feel like she was snubbed.
It's kind of entitlement.
That's
It's
the
a little bit
exact
entitlement.
definition of entitlement.
It's a little
What?
bit
That she
entitlement.
can't feel like she was snubbed?
Yeah, that's not entitlement.
No, she could feel like that. I think
But
every artist, if they're in a category and they don't win and they feel like the person that won didn't even have the type of album that it was nominated for,
Yeah.
I think it's okay to
First
feel like
of-
he was snubbed.
I don't think she was snubbed, though. I think
Wait,
she
it's
was
okay to
lost.
feel anything. So please
and also
let's
the word-
get this out of how people feel.
And also, the word entitlement does sometimes have, or almost all times, has a negative connotation to it when sometimes it's not. Sometimes I feel like, yes, I'm entitled to this award because I did the best work. So, yeah, you can say I have entitlement, but not in a bad way here.
And listen, well, I'm not putting a negative connotation on it, but the underline of a lot of these tweets is saying, "Oh, this bitch won."
Yeah, you can feel a little bit.
Oh,
of
no,
that.
no,
the
that's
tone
for
of-
certain.
So I mean, let's
I'm not saying,
Well,
she's definitely saying, yo, this bitch really
Rory,
won.
I want to acknowledge every part of what she's saying. You are only focusing on the hurt part, and she should be hurt. As an artist, that's where I'm going to stand with her.
Right.
Because I do feel like artists that are like really into artistry and artistry only come into this business, learn a few things about how it operates, and get severely turned off.
And feeling hurt towards an award show she feels is catered to her music. It's not like she's talking about the Grammys where it's like, well, that's going to be what it's going to be. Who's ever the most popular artist is really going to get that award. She feels this exact award show is catered to exactly what celebrates her music,
That's
Yeah.
putting a lot of faith in people that you maybe shouldn't have faith in, though.
which I think is a learning experience when you get into this business after
Yeah.
your first album. I'm sure
Yeah.
you put a lot of faith into things that, you don't realize what's on the other side of the curtain.
For me, that's the other part of where this entitlement comes in. It is your first album.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's Lizzo's first album too.
So what? You lost to someone who, granted, a lot of us feel like you shouldn't have lost to. Granted, who maybe shouldn't have been in that category, but politics as usual.
Okay, so stop right there, Joe. Then with that being said, you have to understand why she feels this way.
No, I don't, because I do understand why she feels that way. I'm talking about going about it the way that she is.
Okay, got you.
If this were Wale, we would be killing him.
That's a fact.
Oh yeah, no, I mean,
If this were a man, we killed Kanye for this same shit not too long, however many years ago that was. Like we would.
Yeah.
So I just want to keep the playing field even.
well, it's not, and it will never be.
I stand with Ari because as an artist, it's fucked up to find out how the inner workings of a lot of this stuff works. And I'm sure it's disappointing to her. And I'm sure it does make her feel like, you know what, it's not worth it to me. I'm not a sellout. I'm not going to sacrifice. If I'm not going to be acknowledged by my peers or by some of the platforms I deem to be great, then fuck this shit.
I'm really glad that I've spent most of my music career, and probably you can attest to this too, working in the underground where we just don't expect awards to really come from.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and
I'm
I
going
mean,
to do what I do.
Because that's the other part of this. These award shows, it's not really artist versus artist. It's
Label versus
versus label. It's not about Ari and Lizzo.
no, you're right. You're right there.
So somebody, J. Cole, somebody has to explain this to her. Not saying she should rid her hurt.
I think play your bingo card. I think Drake put it really well. Was that this year or last year? With his Grammy acceptance speech of how much this really shouldn't define your career or really be a goal for you. It does not define who you are as an artist.
That's what I was going to say, Rory, to Ari. Like, I love Ari Lennox, but I think that you gotta approach this another way. She probably felt like this was the one award that she thought she would win
or cared about.
Or
she cared about this one.
Right? But my thing is, you take this as fuel, man, and look forward to the next project. And just approach it like that. There's a lot of artists that put out great albums that don't even get nominated.
Facts.
That don't even, we're not talking about winning. They don't even get nominated. So the fact that you were nominated is a win. The fact that you were there at the awards is a win. Because last year, we don't know if you were there last year.
Yeah, all of these tweets say entitlement to me. For people saying I just started, no, I've been grinding since 2009. You say that to say what if there's no entitlement involved here?
Yeah, but Joe, you know what I'm learning too? When you're speaking from a place of hurt, the sense of entitlement is going to jump out at times.
Hey, scream, man.
And I also want to add, Ari certainly has expressed her, it's going to sound negative, her mental space with music right now, anyways, with her touring and her rant she went on last month.
Yeah.
Like, she's certainly in a sensitive place right now when it comes to this business.
It's a lot of different emotions. But again, I think that she should take this feeling and this emotion in this moment and just use it as fuel and go to the next project, man, and just put out more amazing music. Like, there's nothing you could do about it.
She put out a really good album.
She did.
Really
Absolutely.
fucking good
But that's what I'm saying. Being nominated sometimes is the win.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like, you were nominated. I get it. I understand she really wanted this award, but you don't ever want to come off as being bitter.
The win is almost in what she said in the rant, which I think was a bit misguided. Of, I made an album without compromising. This is the album I wanted to put out. This is the music I want to make. That's the win.
Yeah.
That's the win to me.
But okay, go back, scream, man. Yeah, but you can't say that and then say I'm not going to chase this shit ever again. Which one is it? It cannot be both.
Yeah, but Joe, you understand a rant though, right?
Yeah, and if
You
when
say
you're in your
things that you
feelings,
don't when you go back.
Try to make
You
logic.
don't have to be married to your rant.
Yeah.
and trying to find logic in feelings when you're hurt is a tough thing to do.
Yeah.
Look, it's not just the awards. SBB was slept on in so many ways. I'm too emotional to pretend like I can play this game.
Yeah, in this industry, you got to remove a lot of your emotions.
At what point do you decide if you're able to play this game or not?
Oh, when them bills come around the first of the month, you'll know.
And scroll. This is not what I was talking about. Scroll earlier. Yeah, keep going. Being honest doesn't make me less gracious. Yes, me being honest doesn't make me less gracious. Or yes, it does.
Why?
Because this is not gracious.
You're right. There's no graciousness.
I'm talking more about the sentence rather than the rant itself. But being honest
Nothing
doesn't make it
about
less
the
gracious.
rant is gracious. Again, back to my point about energy people. You have to be aware of the energy you giving off as well. She has to know how she's being perceived.
Yeah.
At least.
And that's my thing.
Look,
Moving
my intent
forward.
was to never shade other nominees. It's not about the intent. It's about the result. Because you're continuing after this.
Yeah.
So people are bringing something to your attention and you're replying to it, but you're still shading. Oh, man. I don't know, man.
It's a fine line. You have to be very careful, and especially in this digital era that we're in. Like, you can't, because when you put things out like this, like, I'm pretty sure Lizzo is reading this and other artists are reading this, and they're like, damn, like, so that's how she feels if she's going to lose something. Like, if she's not going to win an award, like, she's going to go into this rant bag. But it's like,
she keeps contradicting herself throughout this rant. Being snubbed was something I always expected and was definitely, look up definitely if you don't know what that means, and was definitely prepared for, just not by them. Wait, huh?
No, she's saying
she's holding on to the word Soul Train.
Yeah, she was prepared to be snubbed by any other award show, whether it be Grammys, VMAs, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I wasn't prepared to be snubbed.
Then you
by
were
the
not
Soul Train.
prepared to be snubbed, and it was not something you were
By them.
definitely expecting, period.
By
And you
them.
weren't snubbed. You were nominated.
Well, she said just not by them.
Yeah,
Then
So
I
she
think
really
that's very
felt like she
clear.
was going to win this award.
That's awesome. Then you weren't prepared to be snubbed. That's all I'm saying.
She
By
was
them.
just not by them.
And you still weren't
Then
snubbed.
you're
You were
not
nominated.
prepared to be snubbed. Yep, y'all keep inserting.
You
by
can get
them.
wait. You
No,
get
no,
snubbed but not winning. Kendrick
Yeah.
got snubbed by Macklemore with the Good Kitty, Mad City, whatever Macklemore album that was. It was a snub.
Fam, if we go into one of the greatest albums released this decade when he lost to Macklemore,
I'm explaining what a
that
snub
was a
is.
snub. This is not a snub. If anything, Ella May got the right to start running her mouth.
Well,
Album
was it
great.
her on that list
her
too?
too.
Yeah.
Her.
Her would never. You know why?
I'm just going to put out
Because
another
she's
bomb.
gracious.
Yeah, I'm going to put out another bomb.
Well, she also doesn't talk.
And I'm not saying that Ari is not, but there's this new wave of artists, and reoccurringly we talk about it here, but I guess more so now with this Ari and Summer relationship blossoming before our eyes, because maybe they feel the same way about the entertainment industry, are going through some of the same struggles. There's Wale right there. Go Wale.
Shit, y'all talking about LMA. Chris Brown is breaking shit. He put out 72 songs.
But look,
That's a good point.
You want
He
to
put out
talk about
72
entitlement?
fucking records. You fucking right. He should be ranting. He should be the one going on a rant.
yeah, but Chris Brown is not going to do that because
Chris Brown will go on a rant.
He's too. He not about this.
Brown
No,
got
no,
70
not about this.
Not
Chris
a-
Brown got 73 Soul Train awards, man. He ain't-
Yeah, Chris Brown ain't going on no rant about this.
You probably didn't even know that shit was this weekend.
yeah,
I'm not going to call him the most gracious, but he definitely got the rule when you get in the end zone, act like you've been there before down to a T. Chris Brown don't never look surprised that he's a winner at something. He's too talented in too many different areas.
yeah.
But that's
You
also,
got-
that's also a seasoned kid that's been in this business since he was 14.
Yeah, but listen, I think that I am the poster child to say, fuck that. That's not a luxury that we get in this business. When we come in, the mistakes that we make that are under the microscope, that are visible to mad people, that we're learning on the fly, we are judged by these things.
Well, it's easier to make perception mistakes nowadays than it ever was before. Because every last word you say, and it's so easy to say things to a mass amount of people, get judged down to the punctuation. People didn't have that type of luxury before, and we don't even know how dumb some of our favorite artists could have been had they had Twitter,
That's true.
or how unstable they were, or how nuts they were, or how sane they were. We just don't know.
Yeah.
I feel for her with what she's experiencing in this business. I do think that she has the right people around her to be able to guide her through this moment.
Yeah.
I do feel like it could just be a moment.
It's a moment. All of these, but the thing is, you can't unring a bell now. So when you put these tweets out, people will save these tweets. They will, save
They'll
them for
remember
years to
them at
come.
least, yeah.
And that's the only thing about it. You put this out there, now people have it forever.
I'm pretty
That's
sure
the only
J.
thing.
Cole has been under awarded and under nominated in
Oh,
his
absolutely.
career.
Certainly.
Absolutely. So, like I said, Ari should just take this as a learning experience and just move forward.
I think she has a good group around her, so I'm sure this is being discussed.
She'll be all right.
Get back in the studio.
She's talented.
Yeah.
Once you're talented, you'll be fine.
And she made a great album, so.
Yeah.
Well, I ain't gonna tell these people to just rush back in the studio because it seems like shit. That's where some of these issues start coming from. They don't want to tour.
Well, no, I think a lot of
They
the issues
don't
come
wanna
from
do
outside
interviews.
the studio.
Honestly, you know what, Joe? I don't understand artists not wanting to tour.
Fam, I want somebody to explain this
I don't
to
understand
me.
that. I always thought touring was the fun part.
No, it was not fun.
Touring?
Touring can be overwhelming
I mean,
for a
anything
new
is
act,
overwhelming.
and especially a woman.
Going to work, taking the bus to work is overwhelming.
Right.
When you talking about traveling the world to perform art that you created
Staying
in
in
front of
nice
people that
hotels
appreciate
usually.
it, like I don't understand how people don't enjoy that experience.
Because some people that create music,
Everything
it's just
is work.
It's
Like-
one part of the brain to want to create it within a studio. It's a different part of the brain to want to perform it in front of an entertainer and someone that creates music are two
I
different
really
people.
like Mel's point. Everything is work.
Everything is work. Like
no matter what
everything.
there's no golden ticket.
Of course,
I mean there
yeah,
is.
like
but
I said
it's
2
the
podcasts ago
rarest
that
of
Art should
rares.
probably stop complaining because you always have to do something you won't like in your job no matter
Touring,
what.
to
But
me-
I'm just saying, for someone that's not something that comes easy is what I'm saying.
I'm okay.
That's what I'm suggesting.
Not coming
You
easy
can't-
is different.
You
But
can't
I'm
just
saying
embrace
people-
performing it in front of a
When
bunch
people
of people.
say they don't like touring, they don't like perform. I'd never understand that about artists. Like you literally travel the world,
Right.
performing in front of people that appreciate you, that support you, that love you, that listen to your art, that appreciate your art, and just want to see you.
Especially when the shows is right. Like,
it's like
I can
I
see
don't-
when you got 100 people coming out to your shows and you're touring and busting your ass. For
Even that is
much.
like
I
it's,
agree.
it's still something in that. Even if it's 200 people in front of you,
I agree.
There's something that says these 200 people could have been anywhere tonight.
But I could see why someone would not like that grind. Like the real
As opposed
underground
to, like,
type of grind.
arena
Yeah,
shit.
when you're
I get
going
it.
out and selling out, nice sized arenas
that's-
and venues,
That's just
you got it pretty good, man.
that speaks more to a internal thing. Like that's like okay, you're just not happy with something else. It's not just music and touring. Something in your life is not right that's causing you to
Well,
not.
I think it
wanna-
also goes back to we mentioned this before, the fact that people can just make music in their living room and it be successful and
that
have
they gotta
never
go out to
gone
the
out
world.
and like
Yeah.
done a show.
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah,
comes back
'cause
to that.
Today might be
usually
the
by the
first.
time- go ahead.
Yeah, today might be the first time in music where this is even an option that somebody can say, you know what, I only want to record music and I want to do nothing else, and they have a viable career from it. Now, I don't know, but it's seemingly more more popular by the minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to me, it's just like I don't understand it. Only because it's like, to me, even if you have an issue with being in front of large groups of people, when those people are there to see you, to support you,
Right.
Nah, so what?
Yeah, I don't think
it's,
that's
to me.
I think that's
but to me, I'm
not
just
really
saying. To me,
a
it's
point.
just it's a difference because it's like
It's a little ungrateful.
this is love. It's
not true.
They're showing you love.
Man, I got to be here for me first. I mean,
Well, that's why I said it's a deeper internal-
That's great that y'all came.
Yeah.
It's great that y'all support me. It's great that y'all came out. I got to do it for self first, and
But
for
that's-
y'all.
that's why I said it's
second.
an internal,
And contrary
deeper
to
thing
what
first.
Maul is saying, I could just think of a gabillion reasons why an artist would not want to tour, having nothing to do with the love for the fans or lack of gratitude. Shit, if you want me to be frank about it, it's probably only a small percentage of artists that's touring right. The rest of us is stuck dealing with the chitlin circuits, the bad promoters, the funny style venues. You got to be signed to damn near somebody who runs the venues to even get in a venue. Some of y'all are blackballed from the venues because you're not down with a certain agency or company. It's mad factors that go into touring being right or wrong.
You're right.
Yeah, but aside from
And listen,
those,
and I will always go back to this, whatever tour that was that I was on for All Love Lost or whatever fucking album that was, I was on that tour verbally saying every chance I got, this is the last one of this. This is the last time I want to do this. I physically,
but why?
physically, mentally, and emotionally, I didn't
Takes a
think
toll.
I had any more in me.
Because
that-
of
It was
Personal-
rough though. We were grinding. We were
internal
literally
shit?
driving across the country in a Tahoe with fucking merch and 4 of us and doing shows. Small shows for the most part.
So you were tired of the grind.
That was a grind.
It was.
I'm talking about artists that are flying private, that are in venues that are 5,000 people have brought tickets to come see you. I'm talking about that. I'm not talking about packing up the fucking equipment yourself. That type of tour grind.
But those are two totally
Yeah,
different
but
things.
those are
You've been
two
talking
different-
about a mental state rather than an actual physical grind of having to get up,
But that's
move
why I
all your
said
shit.
a lot of it has to be when artists feel like that. I'm talking about artists that are like really like successful. When they say they don't want to tour and they hate touring, that's there's something wrong with like internally. You're dealing with something because
Yeah, and I think they've been
You
vocal
don't. It's
about
not like a grind for you. You're flying private. You're staying in 5-star hotels. Like it's a packed arena to see you.
right.
Like when you don't like that, I can understand. Like you said, driving across the country in a fucking Suburban,
Right.
having to pack up. That's a grind.
Grind.
I'm talking about when you get in a Sprinter, they take you to the airport, get on a private jet. Like if you're tired of that, it's like all right, you don't want to.
I'm just gonna always have a different POV because I feel like most artists hate being around people.
That's enough. Yeah, like, again, but that's an internal thing.
Actually, let's speed this up and get to Summer Walker, who hates being around people allegedly.